War Machine, an important piece for Euphonium Quartet by Anthony O'Toole. It's a short display of what euphoniums can do. It's a ton of fun to play, very accessible for audiences to listen to. Let's take a dive together and look a little bit about the theory behind this wonderful piece. That quick opening really sets the tone for the rest of this piece. And what O'Toole is doing here is making use of the octatonic scale, utilizing whole steps and half steps. And if you add up all the notes from all four parts in this section, you're going to get an octatonic scale, which you can see here starting in the Euphonium 1 part. If we look at the form of this piece, this exciting opening also represents the A section of the piece. The piece is constructed in modules A through E that each add to this warlike tension of the piece. And at the end of the piece, we get a repetition and a recapitulation of sorts, which is really an amalgamation of all these ideas that are super exciting from modules A and B put together to bring us to a solid close. Let's take a little bit of a look at what makes each module interesting and exciting. Here in the B module of the piece, we get an introduction to the galloping ostinato that comes back a few times throughout the piece. We also get our first entrance of the heroic theme, which gives us the sensation that the hero has really arrived for battle. Harmonically, as you can see here, each measure of this section lands squarely back on a C minor triad. What O'Toole is doing is really just exploring the sounds of the C Aeolian mode throughout this entire section. Now, let's take a listen and a look at the C module. By this point in the piece, we have been lulled into a false sense of security with the stability of time. In the C module, O'Toole turns the tables on us as he oscillates between 7/8 and 2/4 before transitioning into 3/4 time, which itself is preceded by a 5/4 measure. That's quite a bit of change in such a short period of time. This is one of the defining moments of the piece that really emphasizes the warlike nature of the work. This is the heat of battle. Harmonically, O'Toole is planing the chords of the top three parts a la Debussy against a furious bass line that slips in and out of the upper voice's textures. All of this activity really thrusts us right into the D module. Coming out of the heat of battle, O'Toole brings us another theme, this time in the Euphonium 1 part, that represents perhaps the most technically challenging moment for the performers of this piece. Harmonically, this is very similar to the B section, where the first theme was introduced, again exploring the C Aeolian mode, this time with a less aggressive but still highly technical melody. Again supported by an ostinato, however far less complex this time around. This section serves as a transition to get us into the final section of brand new material in the piece, Module E. As you could hear in the clip, this section is quite the departure from everything that has happened before throughout this piece. It is the calm before the storm moment in the battle of this war machine. For this entire section, the lower two parts are working together in quintal harmony. The Euphonium 1 part brings back again this idea of rhythmic ostinato. With the pattern first introduced at the introduction of the piece, this gives us a bit of foreshadowing to a truer return that's going to happen in the work's final moments. We also get a hauntingly beautiful new melody in the Euphonium 2-part. This new melody stands out quite a bit from the previous material. Everything before this, O'Toole writes clearly in 4-bar phrases, while this is just one big 16-bar phrase with many ties across bar lines to weaken our sense of meter. The lyrical quality of this line also really stands out as the emotional core of the whole work, really setting itself apart from the previous thematic material and bringing us into the final A-B section of the piece. This last section of the work drives us into an exciting finale of our musical battle. This final section combines several ideas from modules A and B to create an exciting synthesis of the most powerful moments from the beginning of the piece. We hear a return to the idea of uncertainty of meter as the composer again shifts us between 4/4 and 5/4 time through to the end of the piece. The original ostinato returns to accentuate this uncertainty of meter, as if we have returned our war machine right into the heat of battle. This leads us right into the final 3 bars of the piece, where all parts are now finally in rhythmic unison. This final electrifying statement takes us back to the first rhythm introduced at the very start of the piece. Harmonically, we have simple open fifths until the very last moment where O'Toole inserts a ninth, just for a bit of extra flavor on the last note.